Hey there, Ron Sullivan, your online hitting consultant. I want to talk today about swinging on plane, right? With the oncoming pitch. Look, it's extremely important that as players grow and develop, pitching is going to get better and better. They have to learn mechanics that will allow them to be consistent. And so, look, a lot of the conversations online these days is about whether or not the barrel is traveling up through the zone or down through the zone. And Zeb has created a sensor that allows people to track this and monitor this to a certain degree. And there's a little bit of science around it now that, look, I think video has shown this for a long time now, but that yes, indeed, that the pros, they have a consistent attack angle, which is between 8 plus or positive 8 degrees to 12 degrees. Right, so most amateur hitters, they say, struggle getting through the ball and have a negative attack angle. So positive number indicates that the barrel is traveling slightly up through contact, and a negative number indicates that the barrel is traveling slightly down through contact. And so, as you can probably imagine, this is the right now everybody's going out and buying this because all you have to do is put the sensor on the end of your bat, and if you're not doing it like the pros, you'll have a measurable device that'll show you how to do it, or it'll indicate where you are in your progress. And one word of caution for this, and I had a ZEP sensor a couple of years ago, right when it first came out. I was obviously really excited. And one of the things oh, by the way, I ended up giving it away for free. And look, this isn't a blasted Zep. This is, there's a lot of useful things for this, particularly with older players. I think that you could get a lot of use out of this. But something, a word of caution for you guys that are measuring 12 and unders and using this device is something that Zep doesn't show. They always show in their picture up here, and this is something you'll see on the app where it'll show you the bat path, which, by the way, all this stuff is really cool. But it always has a dummy here, right? That really has no job to do other than stand here while the bat and all this stuff works. And so you see these, and this is what kids see. They see the big loop of a swing, they see the arch, and all this kind of stuff. And so this is what we go after. We see an attack angle that is negative. Okay, and I'm going to try to swing up on the ball. Something I wish Zep would do a better job, I think, being more responsible and letting the masses understand how this actually happens is not because of their hands and barrel, but a lot of times, most cases, at the highest level, it's the way they set up their body when they hit. And why is that important? Well, because kids don't do this in general. They don't hit these angles, and this spine angle I think is more important than this attack angle, or I should say the spine angle will dictate what your attack angle is going to be with players at the highest level. So, for instance, one of my favorite hitters is Matt Carpenter, who is he definitely has an uppercut swing through the zone. When he gets balls out front, his bat is definitely traveling up, and so, but what we've got to pay attention to if you're tracking at home with devices like this and going, why can't you do a positive number like the pros, kiddo? Well, chances are, if he's like most youth players, they're either at 0 degrees spinal tilt to maybe 15 degrees spinal tilt. And look, some players will be a little bit more advanced and they'll have a little bit more athleticism than that when they drop in, but they won't be 30 to 40 degrees like pros. And why is that so important? Well, I've drawn a line. It's perpendicular to the spinal column, and that's really, if you watch what happens, particularly this is a mistake pitch right down the middle of the plate. That bat path travels along that perpendicular to the spinal column, right? He didn't try to swing up. If you watch his body, it's going to rotate around that spinal alignment. There's no time when a ball's coming in at 90 plus to get here and go, all right, now I'm going to drop my shoulder, drop my hands, now I'm going to get on plane with it. No, that's not what these guys are doing. And that brings up a great, I think, future conversation that people will start having is these guys are not dropping their back shoulder. These guys are getting their back shoulder. Their back shoulder is working naturally around the alignment that they've set up. So is his back shoulder lower than his front shoulder? Obviously, right? But the reality is that, well, think about this. Try with this spinal alignment. You can do it at home right now, right? You just stand up and try to get 30 to 40 degrees spinal tilt. Take a swing and try to swing with level shoulders. It's impossible. Your spine won't allow it. Your anatomy won't allow it. Okay, so these guys look this way with their back shoulder down, not because they're trying to get on plane with the oncoming pitch, because their body is set up that that's how their back shoulder is going to look when they get to contact. You can't get your back shoulder higher than that with your spinal alignment in that way. Now, the one difference you're going to see in that area is whenever these guys get a high pitch, which by the way is not going to be Carpenter's strong suit, just because of the way his body is set up as he's dropping in. The pitch up in the zone is not going to be great. Just like Mike Trout, who has about 40 degrees tilt when he lands in his weight shift, he has a difficult time with balls up in the zone. Now, what will these guys do when the ball gets up in the zone? You'll see their spine will start to straighten out just a little bit, right? As they get the heel plant, in order to stay on top of the ball, right? So that's how they're going to swing level through it. You know, the hands play a tremendous role in the swing, but the way that we set up the framework is going to dictate a lot of these numbers that you're seeing everybody talk about these days. Oh, I've got to get my kid to 8 to 12 degrees. Well, you're not going to do that, I think, without changing the way that their body is going to be positioned when they get in the box. Otherwise, and this is the dangerous thing that I think is happening right now, is that I think kids can hit these numbers, but to what effect? They can hit a +8 to +12 degrees, but let's say the player has uh, 0 to 5 degrees spinal tilt, and he's hitting a number of 8 to 12 degrees of a pitch right down the middle of the plate. Well, chances are he's doing something with his hands in the barrel to create that uppercut through the zone, right? And so the hands play a tremendous role. But the way the body's alignment is I think going obviously the way we control our momentum into our weight shift is going to play a huge role into how the barrel travels, whether or not the barrel travels up or the barrel travels down through the zone. Okay, so be careful with these numbers. I know that we're in an age now where we've got a lot of technology in our hands where we can make our players better, right? But consider that your player is probably not at 35 degrees spinal tilt, right? And then you're probably not going to. I mean, how can you not uppercut from that spinal tilt? How can you not, right? Unless somebody taught Murphy down and through, which obviously they didn't. There's no way in the world that this guy is going to be able to swing down on a ball in the zone with his spine tilted this way, and if he hits the ball out front. The only way he swings down on the ball is if he hits it before it gets to the catcher's mitt, right? He hits it out front, and his body and his alignment are dictating the swing plane, right? Not the hands in the barrel looping down and around to create this. So that's exactly what you're going to get if you're chasing these numbers, right? I think Zepp could be a lot more responsible in indicating how the body's position is and its alignment. It would actually dictate the barrel path and in these plus numbers that they're trying to get so many kids to get to. All right, hey, Ron Sullivan, your online hitting consultant. Thanks again. Bye-bye.